Welcome back to the Cliff Anderson Show. I'm Cliff Anderson. If this is your first time watching us, thank you for joining us. If you are a returning viewer, that's a lot to say. Thank you for coming back. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below, and share this with somebody that you know. That was a bar. Today, I have my very, very, very special friend on the show.
Hey, y'all.
Her name... Her name is, I won't say pastor, but Pastor Takara Nicole. I said it anyway.
You said it anyway.
I said it anyway. Cause you know, you gotta give respect where respect is due. You know, you gotta give honor to those that are in your midst.
Oh, amen.
Cause it's not every day you get a Takara Nicole in the midst.
Period.
Come on,
not
somebody.
Every day. I just want y'all to know.
Let me give y'all a brief. I'm gonna give you a brief one. So she is the pastor of Life at the Well Ministries. She's an author. She's a professional hairstylist. And is that BB?
It is.
It is. And how do you say the hair restoration title?
Trichologist.
Yeah, what she says. She's one of those professionally. So this is my friend, Pastor Takara Nicole. Welcome.
It's good to be here. Hello, everybody.
Listen, guys, I'm nervous. She's nervous.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous.
Everybody's nervous.
Everybody's nervous, but nervous is good. So we brought Takara on to talk about Life at the Well Ministries and what it exactly means to be well. And we also brought her on to talk about her life as a Christian woman.
Okay.
She's in her 30s. She's single, ready to mingle with the right person. Come on, Jesus. Come on, Boaz.
You play so much, y'all. You play so much.
So tell us, how did the Lord give you the name Life at the Well?
Okay.
And tell us what it's about.
So listen, y'all, I am a dreamer, and I literally woke up hearing "Welcome to the Well" in my sleep. And it was like, welcome to the well, welcome to the well. So I initially, in my mind, pastoring is not the first thing I'm going for. And anybody that goes to wanting to be a pastor, you scare me, because if you really understood the responsibility, then you would know that's not the first thing that's going to come to your mind. So I just kept hearing "Welcome to the Well." And so I thought that it was going to be a podcast. And so I have this cute little flyer just sitting at home in my computer that says Welcome to the Well podcast. And that's what I thought it was going to be. I hit my guy up because y'all know he is the podcast person. And I'm like, hey, I got this idea. He's like, that's going to be so good. And so I thought that it was going to be a podcast. And then as I started navigating in it, and I was getting downloads about different types of stories I would tell, topics I would talk about, they literally kind of turned into sermons. And then from turning into sermons, it was like, these are the events you can do, and these are some encounters you want people to have. And man, here we are. Welcome to the well.
Here we are. So on our last episode, I said that your ministry starts with obedience.
Absolutely.
So was it hard to be obedient to that specific calling? Because I know you, they don't know you, but like she said, pastoring wasn't the first option.
Right. So I think more so for me, the title of it to me was scary. Majority of the time, people that are all that slowly but surely get these titles, they were already doing the work. So I was already doing the work of a pastor, right? Because pastoring is shepherding, it's managing people. It's not being behind the pulpit, right? It's being able to show up and helping people navigate their lives. And so I was really technically already doing it before the title came. But I think sometimes the title just makes it scary because sometimes people can put unrealistic expectations on the title of being whatever it is. And so I was just afraid of I don't want people to put these expectations of what they think that I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to show up. However, I'm already showing up in the capacity of what the role and responsibility of a pastor is.
That's a good answer. I like what you said, that people put unrealistic expectations on the title of a pastor. Yeah. People always associate pastor with being perfect.
Yeah.
And what do you always say? The Lord don't want us to be perfect. He wants us to be
consistent.
Explain that.
So the Lord is not asking for perfection. He wants us to be consistent. And a lot of times we're going after just being perfect, being perfect, being perfect. But God is really after our consistency, our us being intentional about serving Him, loving Him, serving His people, loving His people, serving in your capacity, serving in your assignment. And so as long as you're showing up to your best ability and being intentional about making sure that you are the best person and being well, then that's what God is concerned about, but not how perfect, we're going to be, because you're never going to be perfect. And so we can focus on trying to be perfect so much that I'll be honest, you can miss God.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, what you just said reminds me of David. David had consistency on lock.
He did.
Because even God will protect you even in your ignorance.
For sure.
And He will protect you in your sin. David had sinned 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
But he constantly went back and repented for said sin.
Yeah.
So I like that. And, we just want to encourage folks that God is not looking for perfect.
He's not.
He don't need perfect from us. So when you're out there and you're trying to figure it out, as long as you're trying to figure it out.
Right.
Long
And be
as you're
intentional
trying,
though, right?
right.
You have to be intentional. Like, you can't say you want to be well, but you constantly around things that make you sick, right? You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't say you want to be well, and then you're constantly around the things that make you sick. I was just listening to a young lady the other day, and I was telling her that, I said, like, God is trying to pull you out of that place, but you're constantly putting yourself in the spaces that are causing you to be traumatized and to not be healed. And so in order for us, again, to be well and to walk in this walk that we're trying to walk in, you have to be intentional about every single thing that you do.
That's good. That's a good point. And so in your experience, how did you learn how to be intentional? I know, like, for me,
Yeah.
being intentional, I ain't gonna say it was a problem, but it was something I had to understand what it meant. I've prayed vague prayers before,
right,
or repeated prayers, and I know the scriptures talk about the Spirit will give you what to pray.
Yeah.
So how did you learn how to be intentional, not just with your prayers, but with your lifestyle?
So I would say that I learned from my mistakes, right? Like, if you never take time to sit and learn and get accountability, get mentorship. I am big on mentorship. I am super big on accountability. I have people in my life that hold me accountable, that I allow them to hold me accountable. And so if you have people in your life that are going to hold you accountable, then they're not going to let you fall. They're going to be in a space where I'm constantly assessing my life, So if I've already slipped up and messed up, I'm not going to say that you're not going to be a repeat offender, right? Let me just say that. However, I shouldn't be doing the same things every single time, And so, like, if you slip up and you mess up in one area, then you have to be able to assess, well, how did I get there? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you slip up and you mess up, right? Let's be honest, because you know how we are. And you go and you mess with this dude, and you know you're not supposed to. You miss this girl, you're not supposed to, right? However, here we are. You got to be able to say, well, how did I get here? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did I get to that place? What did I let in, and what did I give access to? And so once you're able to do an assessment, then I shouldn't be making the same mistakes, because when you want to do better, or if you want better, you have to do better. So I became being intentional because I really desired better for my life. And I don't want to keep doing the same things over and over. Why? Because that's insanity.
That's a valid point. And just to piggyback off what you said, lacking self-assessments will keep you in a repeated cycle of things. And like you said, I've trusted a lot of big butts and smiles. And Bell Biv DeVoe told us not to do that, and I've done it anyway. God. And it hasn't always gotten me to the best place.
No.
So, but that's when I had to be honest with myself. So I want to flashback. I know we've talked about this offline. Carol, you said you was baptized at how old?
I was 5.
5, got the Holy Ghost. Hey, come on, somebody. How old?
6.
And then you got the call at 15?
At 15.
That's 20 years ago.
20 years
First
ago.
of all, you in real life, you would have retired from something after 20 years.
Exactly, for sure.
But you're just picking it up. So how did you handle navigating those waters in your 20s when your peer group, they're outside? Or even in high school, they're outside, doing the outside things.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's hard, how can I say it? So they say many are called, but few are chosen, right?
Mm.
And so I think sometimes we take the chosen part and we glorify it and we make it glamorous, like, "Ooh, I'm one of the chosen." But if you really understood what chosen means, you would understand that it's not glamorous because it's not easy. Like being chosen comes with a lot of sacrifice. But I feel like to a certain extent, like it was just in me. I love God so much. I didn't want to disappoint God. And so that what I was again intentional, right? Because I didn't want to disappoint God. And because I didn't want to disappoint God, I was very careful about, the things I would do. I would watch how people would say they love God, but then they would do things that did not always show that you really love God. Because if you love somebody, then you act like you love them and you want to show them that you love them. And so for me, it's one of those things where I love him, so I'm going to show him. So navigating that, I mean, I've always been my own person. I've always been a leader. I've always done what I wanted to do and not easily swayed by what other people are doing. I was always mindful of my circle. I was always mindful of the people that I was around. I know people always say you have such an old soul, and I guess being an old soul paid off because I like being around a lot of older people.
66 years
So,
old.
I'm 17, but my circle of people are like well into their late 20s, early 30s, in their 30s with children. Those are the people that I hung around. So it just didn't, feel like it was such a big issue because I just love God. And that was it.
Okay, so I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah.
In theory, I hear it. It
Right.
sounds simple.
It sounds
It
simple.
sounds simple, but I grew up in church,
Right.
and for a long time, we was out in these streets. I ain't gonna say a long time, but you know what I'm
Right.
saying, a good amount of time. So how does somebody, like some people watching, never heard God, never been to a church, don't have no spiritual friends, how do they understand what you say by being intentional?
Right. So get to know, like, honestly, it's through relationship. That's why I said, like, it comes from being consistent, not perfect. So if there's like someone and you're trying to walk this journey out, it's a day by day thing. It's not something that you take by the week and you take by the year. It's a day by day making choices, right? So every day you have to choose Jesus, right?
That's a
Every
valid point.
day. Every day is I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be very cautious of what I do. I'm gonna be cautious of where I go. I'm gonna be cautious of what comes out of my mouth. Like it's not gonna be something you can be like, oh yeah, look, I'm saved. And like every day just go on about life without being very intentional about decisions that you make. And so I'm not saying that every day is gonna be great and it was wonderful and I've never messed up and I've never made mistakes. I had. However, I didn't let my mistakes hold me to a place because like we talked about offline, the reality is like back then it was like we had a fear of God,
Yeah.
and it was like God is gonna strike you down, and da, da. But then once I have come to know him, I know that he is a loving, caring, forgiving, sovereign God. And because that's the type of God that I serve, that even in my most raggedy place that I could find myself in, he still loves me and he's still reaching for me and he still wants me. And so in whatever place you might find yourself in, you might mess up, you might slip up, he still loves you. And when you understand that there's nothing that you could ever do that would make him not love you, then you do what you can to make sure that you love him the same way back.
It's crazy that you said that. Like, um, I know for me, I don't think I really understood how to love
Yeah,
until God showed me how to love.
that's good.
And like you said, love requires sacrifice, and so does consistency. Love requires discipline and obedience,
Yeah.
and love requires all these things. And you said you have to wake up and choose God. We was in the we did like Bible study in the park the other day,
Yeah.
and some cat walks up to us. They prayed for him, and he was spitting. He appeared to be homeless or less than or whatever.
Yeah.
Smelled like alcohol, but he was spitting all this spiritual rhetoric. And I say to him, bro, you got to wake up and choose God every day
Yeah.
because God is going to force this lifestyle on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the people that's watching, you wake up tomorrow and change what happened. Don't worry about changing what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
You wake up and make a decision like, this is how I'm going to live today. And you do that the next day and the next day and the next day. They say it take like 30 days to create a habit or
Yeah,
something
it does.
like that. And even when you create the habit of living for God, it's a renewing every single day.
Every day.
Every single day.
But can I tell you guys something too? Like, you're not going to be able to walk this out by trying to get yourself right before you come to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we try to make ourselves be perfect and then say, oh, then I'm going to come to church.
That's the bar.
But the reality is that you have to come to him because he's the only one that can change you.
That is fact.
So you have to let him do the work on you. It's not something where like, all right, let me get my life together. Now I'm going to come to church. No, he's going to be the one that's going to do it. You don't want it to be something that somebody forces on you or makes you do it. Even you try to do yourself. You want him to change you.
That is real. Bible say come as you are.
Yeah.
Because if it's not a God change, it's not going to stick.
It's not.
It is not. Listen, done tried it. Done it all. Done it all. Done tried it. It did not work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. So, how do you use Life at the Well to minister to people? Like different outlets you have that you provide for folks.
Absolutely. So we have Tuesday nights online, and that's of course social media is just another way.
Good, y'all.
Yeah, another way for us to get on, and that was even like with the Well, like we had more of a podcast type feel, Bible study where it's like a group of us, and I believe that everybody's experiences together make up a better conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though one of us may talk and we may introduce a conversation, all of us have something to say. Everybody has something to bring to the table. And that's just what I believe is that everybody has something to contribute. We have a women's group. We have a men's group. We have activities. We have group chats. We have meetups. We have pull up and praise. So we try to utilize neutral spaces because there are some people that do not want to come to church. They're afraid of church. And so we try to keep it, super neutral so people don't feel offended or off guard when they come into the room. And we try to make sure that everybody feels welcome. So yeah.
Last night, by the time you see this, I don't know. What was yesterday's date?
The
27th?
Yeah.
27th, July 27th. Life at the Well and Pastor Takara had a pull up and pray.
Yeah.
And it was so good and it was so important because wherever she pulls up and pray, it's not just shifting what's in that room. She's putting that prayer in that atmosphere that's around that space.
Yes.
And when you're in these type of events, you take that atmosphere home with you.
Absolutely.
And it touches the people that's around you.
That's good.
So if you're in the whatever area she's in, find it. You can find her on all her social medias. Give out your social medias.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm on IG at I am Takara Nicole. I'm on Facebook, Takara Nicole. I'm on TikTok, I'm Takara Nicole. And we have a Life at the Well Ministries page on Facebook as well.
And we do that because with those outlets, you can access that anywhere.
Yes.
And it's funny, the Lord was really dealing with me about fitness. And not just in the natural sense.
Yes.
But in the spiritual sense. And then he was just talking to me about like, you got to get physically fit and spiritually fit.
Absolutely.
And it's the same concepts. And just like you said about being intentional.
Right.
You have to be intentional what you put in your body. And that's not in just a physical food sense, but that's also in the spiritual sense.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to walk this path, you have to put things in your body. You have to digest things that is good for your spirit, man. And Life at the Well ministry is one of those things.
But it goes back to where you were asking, like, well, how does somebody get started or how do you sustain it? Well, by what he just said, it's something that I pick up the 5-pound weight today and I do what I can do with the 5-pound weight. At some point, I should max out of this 5-pound weight and I should move to a 10-pound weight, And so at some point with your walk with Christ, cussing shouldn't be a problem for you, because that's just something light, right? I need to be mindful of my words. I need to be mindful, and it's not the curse words. It's a lot of times the meaning behind why you're saying it. A lot of times is what gives it the behind whatever it is that you're saying. And so, and then it moves to, different areas of life. After a while, I should be mindful about where I put my body, right? I should be mindful about where my mind is. I should be mindful about, where I'm going and how I'm speaking to people. And so, again, it's just one of those things that it takes it day by day. Like one day you're drinking sodas and now I'm by myself drinking water. You know why? Because I'm being intentional about what goes inside my body. And it makes me a healthier person. And once I see how I'm showing up in this space, I want to keep going. Same thing with your walk with Christ. After a while, I don't want to do those things. That's ugly. That's not appealing. Acting out and fighting all the time, that should get old. That weight should get old. That doesn't affect me anymore. And it's time for me to level up and go to another level. And so again, I tell people there's levels to this. So just like he's saying with this fitness thing, if you're looking like, well, how do I walk this thing out? It's day by day, making the decision, maxing out where you are, and then, hey, it's time for me to level up.
I like how you said, circling back, how I have to tell my son all the time in reference to basketball, you don't have to wake up and be Kobe Bryant today.
Yes.
It's a constant grind and working at it and working at it.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I've had a hard time doing that. In my mind, and I don't know if it's because of church, I feel like church simplifies things a lot. And they'd be like, it's either black or white, but
Yeah.
we all live in the gray
Yeah.
because you have to make the decision to either black
Absolutely.
or white, and I feel like churches gave it the stigma, living for Christ gave a stigma of perfection.
For sure.
That it's you have to be absolutely perfect. And like you said, I've tried to clean up things on my own. I've tried to stop cussing on my own, stop sleeping with whoever on my own.
Right.
And it has never worked out.
Never.
Not even once.
It takes him.
Listen.
I tell people all the time, that's why having the even though, like I said, I'm okay with the responsibilities of being a pastor because I've been pastoring for a long time. I'm not new to this. I've been in this space. I just didn't have the title. But I think, like I said, the title brings on this unrealistic expectation of oh yeah, you got to be perfect because you're a pastor.
Mhm.
I've been doing this for a long time. However, what I want to get to the point is that I just have to choose Jesus. So we look at leaders and we're like, oh my God, if they don't choose Jesus, they're going to fall just like you going to fall. They have lusts, they have desires, they have wants, they have needs, just like anybody else. Their title does not make them exempt from having a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we try to put these stipulations they're supposed to be God. They're not God.
It's true.
And we treat them like they're God, you're not supposed to, mess up, slip up or nothing, but they're human. They're having a very human experience just like we are. And if they don't choose Jesus and if they don't do all the things to keep themselves, they are going to fall.
That's a valid
Period.
point. We often tie our salvation to our leaders.
Right.
And that's when the leaders fall and everybody be so devastated. Like you said, forgetting the fact that they're human beings just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this question.
Okay.
With life life at the well and being a pastor, how do you think people perceive you now? People that know you or knew you for a long time before you had the title of pastor.
I think they perceive me the same way. I think a lot of people were just it's a long time coming, or it was just bound to happen. For me, I didn't see that for myself because, like I told you, that was not something that was on my radar. I don't mind doing the work, but the title part, I was like, because I know what it comes with. I know what people are going to think, by that. But I think that people are they were ready, more than anything, I think. They were ready for it. And I'll tell y'all, a story. My mentor and my spiritual father, he died about 2 years ago. That was my guy. And he came into my life when I was 17 years old. And for a portion of my life, this would be, I haven't even done, I don't feel like a podcast on this story, but so y'all will get the first exclusive about this. But there was a portion in time in my life, y'all, before I started pastoring about, I would say about 7 years ago. Because I've been pastoring about 2, then I had, a year and a half I was pastoring. So sometime before then, I'll just say there was a 5-year span that I did not go to church. I didn't have a church home. I visited churches there and there. Again, my relationship is always solid. I'm not gonna lie, I love God for real, and I don't play about that. However, there was a point in time where I was not going to church like that. Okay. And I didn't have a leader in that sense. I've always had a cover and I've always had accountability because I don't play them games. But there was a point in time that I wasn't. And he would call me all the time, right? Because he still loved me no matter what. And do y'all know this man would call me every single day? He never called me by my name. He called me every day almost. And y'all know what he called me? Shepherd. And I would tell that man, do not call me shepherd because I'm never going to be a pastor. That's not something I'm going to do. And he was like, yes, you are Shepherd. I said, if you call me Shepherd one more time, I promise you, I'm going to hang the phone up. Like, that's literally how me and him was. And he was like, all right, whatever you say, Shepherd. And I'd be like, yo, you get on my nerves. And I'll remember he would leave me voicemails. I wouldn't answer them. He'd be like, Shepherd, I'm about to leave your church because you're not answering the phone.
Church is crazy.
Listen. But y'all, for 5 years, he called me Shepherd. And this is why you have to have people around you that have the language for your future. You have to have people around you that have the language that can see where you're going, even when you can't see where you're going.
That's a bar.
And so for 5 years, this man called me Shepherd. Even when I told him I'm never going to do that. And so when the time came for the elevation, he was like, I always knew this is where you was going to be.
He was like, I was waiting on you to catch up.
I was waiting for you to catch up, you know? So people around you, they see it, they know it, they sense it, you know? And sometimes it's us because we know what it means. And for me, I take it very serious. I don't take it lightly that people call me pastor. There are moments and times when I cringe at the name, not because, again, I don't want the responsibility, but because I just understand what that title means and looks like. So,
yeah, it's good. Good story. Well, this is the end of our ride almost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Okay.
I'll give you about 15 seconds. No, not even 15. Yeah. What's your favorite hymn from the old church?
My favorite hymn, y'all, of course.
One that you are prepared
to
sing a little bit.
I'm not singing it.
Just a little smidge.
No, but It Is Well is one of my favorites. It is what the Life at the Well is founded off of, and it's whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, that it is well. And the reason why I can say that whatever my lot is because I real life teach people that we have to learn how to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We cannot get stuck in the middle. You have to know how to go through it. And so even in the midst of your pain and whatever you're going through in this moment or what you'll go through in the future, that I can still come out of my mouth and say it is well because I understand that God is the one that's carrying me. And like the preacher's about to come out of me, but I'm just going to say this. Yesterday, when we had our pull up and pray, like the Lord took me to the space when the disciples were on the boat. And he says, let us go to the other side. And somewhere in between, it got real rocky, you know, and it started to get real windy and the waves started coming. And the disciples, they started to get a little, you know, shaken up and they're like, hey, you gonna let us drown? And he's like, be still, be quiet, storm. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it was, you should know that I'm going to take you because I'm the one that said, let us go to the other side. So all I came to say is that whatever your lot that was taught you to say, that if he's the one that's allowing you to go through it, that it will always be well.
So you got to go through to grow to.
Yeah.
You still ain't gonna sing just like just give it the last bars.
Nope, it is well with my soul. That's all I got. Y'all know he like to sing, so he will sing it.
Sure will. But thank y'all for watching the Cliff Anderson Show.
Yes.
And thank you, Pastor Takara Nicole.
You're so
you want to give out your socials one more time?
Yes, I'm on IG at I am Takara Nicole, TikTok I'm Takara Nicole, Facebook Takara Nicole, and Life at the Well Ministries.
Real switch up there.
I know. They won't let me do I am on Facebook. They're whack.
Yeah, Facebook is whack for that. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'm going to link all her information in the description of this video. And I'm gonna also put the link for the It Is Well hymn.
Okay, yeah.
So y'all can learn just something.
Learn it. It's
so again, thank y'all for watching. As always, stay black, stay connected, love God, and be smooth.